The stage pulses under a crimson spotlight, like a heart caught in a storm of desire. The air thrums with the wail of a guitar, raw and untamed, as if Jimi Hendrix himself were summoning a revolution. Can you feel it, the tremor of defiance, the ache of a soul refusing to be caged? Picture yourself standing in that crowd, the heat of 1,000 eyes on you, the weight of expectation pressing down like a velvet curtain. What would you do if your heart screamed to break free, right there on the edge of glory? This is where episode 9 of Rock is a Lady's Modesty begins, and it's pulling you into its fire. Step into the hallowed halls of Ocean Girls Academy, a gilded cage where elegance is law and rebellion is a whisper in the dark. Released on May 29, 2025, this episode, crafted by Bandai Namco Pictures, is a love letter to those who've ever hidden their true selves. Lil Issa Suzunomiya, voiced by Akira Sekine, is a wildfire cloaked in silk, her delicate frame and flowing hair a facade for the rock and roll heart pounding within. Her eyes, drawn with aching detail, flicker with the same longing you felt when you first heard a song that spoke your truth. Otoha Kurigane, brought to life by Mayuri Shimabukuro's sultry cadence, is a drummer whose every beat feels like a dare, her studded leather and defiant smirk echoing Joan Jett's untouchable swagger. Tina Isami, fragile yet fierce, and Tamaki Shiraya, cool as a winter blade, complete their band, a quartet of dreamers defying a world that demands perfection. Imagine yourself at 16, forced to bury your passion to fit in, like Lil Issa hiding her guitar to play the noble maiden. Can you feel the ache of that sacrifice, the way it mirrors every time you've silenced your own voice? The Academy's pristine white walls, bathed in soft light, are a stage where these girls fight not just for music, but for their souls. Their designs, vibrant yet grounded, make every glance a story. Otoha's wild energy, Tina's trembling resolve. Who would you be in their world, standing at the crossroads of duty and desire? This episode isn't just about a performance, it's about the courage to be seen. Lalisa's fingers hover over her guitar strings, each note a rebellion against the mother who demands she be a lady. Have you ever stood at the edge of a choice, knowing one step could shatter the mask you wear? Her struggle is universal, a mirror to those moments when you've wondered if your true self is worth the risk. Otoha, with her fearless rhythm, drums not just for the crowd, but to pull Tina from her insecurities, like a lighthouse guiding a ship through fog. Tina's faltering keys, a heartbeat stumbling, echo every time you've doubted your place in the world. The philosophical heart of this episode pulses with a question. What does it mean to be free? Like Woodstock's defiant chords shaking the world in '69, these girls' music is a rebellion against conformity, a cry that freedom isn't given, it's taken. I feel their fear, their fire, their refusal to bow. Can you hear it too? The call to embrace your own messy, beautiful truth, even when the world demands silence. Their battle on stage is yours, a reminder that identity is forged in the moments we choose to stand tall. What would you risk to sing your own song? Bandai Namco Pictures crafts a visual symphony that hits like a power chord. The stage glows with crimson and violet hues, like a sunset bleeding defiance, each spotlight carving the girls' silhouettes into something mythic. The motion-captured performance, inspired by bandmates' raw energy, makes every strum and drumbeat feel alive. Lalisa's fingers dance across her guitar with the precision of a warrior, Tina's hesitant keystrokes trembling in the frame. Imagine standing in that crowd, the camera sweeping low to catch Otoha's fierce grin, then soaring to reveal the sea of faces watching, judging, yearning. The animation weaves 3D and 2D with a painter's touch, the cel-shaded instruments blending seamlessly with hand-drawn expressions. A single shot, Tina lost in a dark, thorny forest of her own doubts, only for Otoha's drums to shatter the shadows with golden light, feels like a scene from a dream you've had, where fear gives way to courage. The Academy's sterile halls contrast with the music room's dusty warmth, like the clash between duty and passion in your own heart. Have you ever seen a moment so vivid it felt like your own memory? This is animation that doesn't just show, it makes you feel. The soundtrack is a rebellion in sound. Bandmates, ready to rock roars like a battle cry, its electric riffs slicing through the air like Bowie's Rebel Rebel did in its prime. When the band plays, the music wraps around you. Guitars wail with Lalisa's defiance, drums thunder with Otoha's untamed spirit, and Tina's keys falter, then soar, like a bird finding its wings. Picture yourself in that moment, the crowd's cheers a tidal wave, the bass vibrating in your chest. Can you hear the way the music speaks to your own buried dreams? The sound design is equally potent, the creak of the stage, the gasp of the audience, the soft clink of Tina's bracelet as she hesitates. A single drumbeat, echoing like a heartbeat in a quiet room, carries the weight of Otoha's faith in her bandmates. Little Glee Monster's ending theme, Yum Janae Nara Nana No SA, lingers like a question whispered in the dark. If this isn't a dream, then what is it? Have you ever heard a song song that felt like it was written for you? This soundtrack doesn't just play, it demands you listen. Then, the stage ignites. A single note, sharp, searing, like a spark in a powder keg, cuts through the chaos. The camera spins, capturing Lalisa's trembling hands, Otoha's fierce rhythm, Tina's faltering keys finding their strength. It's not just a performance, it's a reckoning, a moment where their souls collide in a blaze of sound and light. Like the final chord of a Beatles concert, it's raw, chaotic, and unforgettable. The crowd holds its breath, and so do I, as the girls pour everything, fear, hope, defiance, into a single, shattering moment. What happens when you bare your soul to a world that might not listen? The answer lies in their music, a truth that shifts the very air around them. Can you feel the weight of that choice? The courage it takes to stand exposed? Episode 9 of Rock is a Lady's Modesty isn't just a show, it's a spark that could set your heart ablaze. Will Lalisa's guitar carve a path through the expectations binding her? Can Otoha's drums shatter the walls around Tina's fears? And what does it mean to stand on a stage not as a lady but as yourself? Streaming on High Dive, this episode is a call to rebellion, a reminder that your truth is worth fighting for. Like the first time you heard a song that changed you, this story will linger, urging you to question, what's the sound of your own freedom? Watch now, and let these girls' music show you the way. Are you ready to rock your own world? The air hums with the faint buzz of a guitar amp, its low drone curling around you like a memory you can't shake. Picture yourself alone in a crowded room, the kind where every whisper feels like a spotlight pinning you down. The stage lies bare under a single beam of light, and in that glow, a question burns. After the storm, what remains? The title of episode 10 of Rock is A Lady's Modesty, a challenge that stabs at your core like the final note of Kurt Cobain's Where Did You Sleep Last Night, raw and unyielding. Have you ever stood at a crossroads, your heart screaming to be heard while the world demands your silence? This episode doesn't just pull you in, it drags you onto the stage, where the roar of the crowd feels like the pulse of your own fears. Can you taste the electric tension, like the moment before a storm breaks? Will you step into the light and face what's left after your own storms? Imagine walking the pristine halls of Ocean Girls Academy, where chandeliers gleam like the eyes of a judgmental god, and every polished surface reflects a version of you that doesn't quite fit. Released on June 5, 2025, Episode 10 of Rock is A Lady's Modesty immerses you in this gilded cage, a modern Japan where tradition and rebellion collide like a clash song blasting in a temple. Lil Issa Suzunomiya, Akira Seikine, her voice a wildfire of defiance and doubt, is a rock star trapped in a debutante's gown, her spiky blonde hair and ripped tights a middle finger to decorum, like Sid Vicious crashing a royal ball. Her guitar is her Excalibur, but it's her trembling hands that make you ache, reminding you of every time you've gripped your own dreams too tightly. Otoha Kurigane, Mayuri Shimabukuro, the drummer with a sneer sharp enough to cut glass, channels Joan Jett's rebel yell, her elegant poise cracking under the weight of her need to break free. Tamaki Shiraya, with her soft eyes and hesitant fingers, searches for her sound like a poet seeking the perfect word, while Tina Isami's nervous laughter hides a fear of fading into the background, a universal ache you've felt in moments of self-doubt. Their designs by Risa Mayadani, vivid, angular, yet soulfully detailed, make each glance a story, like manga panels come to life. Who do you see in their struggles? Have you ever hidden your true self to fit a role the world wrote for you? This isn't just a story about a band, it's a battle for the soul, a war between the masks we wear and the truths we bury. Lalisa's every chord is a rebellion against her mother's iron grip, a struggle as ancient as Antigone defying Creon, each note a plea for freedom that echoes in your own heart. Otoha's venomous barbs, flung like daggers at her bandmates, aren't just anger, they're a scream for connection, like Janis Joplin's raw wail in Piece of My Heart, begging to be seen. The battle of the bands isn't about trophies, it's about staring into the abyss of failure and asking, what am I if I'm not enough? Tamaki's quiet wrestle with her role in the group feels like every time you've wondered where you belong, while Tina's fear of being overshadowed mirrors the dread of being forgotten. Episode 10 holds up a mirror. When the world demands you conform, do you bend or do you break the mold? Have you ever felt the weight of a dream that could either save you or shatter you? What would you risk to sing your truth, even if no one claps? Bandai Namco Pictures turns every frame into a canvas of raw emotion, like a Scorsese film married to a rock opera. The stage in Episode 10 is a cathedral of light and shadow, its stark whites and deep blacks evoking the chiaroscuro of a Caravaggio masterpiece, each beam slicing through the darkness like a judgment. The band's performance, animated with 3D motion capture inspired by Bandmaid's real-world energy, moves with a visceral pulse. You can almost feel the sweat on Lalisa's brow as her fingers shred the strings, like Slash tearing through Sweet Child of Mine at a Guns N' Roses show. The camera dances, dizzying yet precise, zooming in on Otoha's drumsticks as they blur like a storm, then pulling back to catch the flicker of doubt in Tamaki's eyes. Quiet moments glow with soft, watercolor-like hues, like a Monet painting of a fleeting dawn, while the band's clash explodes in jagged, neon bursts, each frame a rebellion against restraint. Can you feel the stage vibrating under your feet? What would it be like to stand in that light, your every flaw exposed, your every strength blazing? The soundtrack is a living pulse, a sonic rebellion that grabs you by the soul. Bandmates, Ready to Rock thunders through the episode like a storm over Woodstock 69, its riffs slicing through the air like lightning, each note a call to arms that makes your heart race. Little Glee Monsters' ending theme, Yum Jine Nara Nana no Sa, is a haunting ballad that lingers like cigarette smoke in a dive bar, its melody wrapping around you like a memory of a dream you almost forgot. The clatter of Otoha's drums feels like your own heartbeat under pressure. The wail of Lalisa's guitar is a cry you've stifled too long. The sound design, creaking stage boards, the hiss of an amp, the crowd's roar fading into a deafening hush, pulls you into the moment, like the silence before a Beatles crowd erupted at Shea Stadium. What song plays in your mind when you fight for your place in the world? Can you hear the music that would carry you through your own rebellion? Without betraying the stage's secrets, a moment crashes down like a cymbal's final strike, where the band faces not just their rivals but the raw truth of who they are. A choice, bold, desperate, and achingly human, shifts everything, like the moment in Bohemian Rhapsody when Freddie Mercury owns Live Aid, his voice a defiance of doubt. Tamaki's quiet epiphany about her place in the band hits like a chord you didn't see coming, resonating with every time you've searched for your own purpose. The air grows heavy, the silence after their performance thick with questions that linger like smoke. What would you do when the world demands your truth, and the cost is everything? Can you face the quiet that follows your loudest stand? The stage fades to black, but the echoes of their music linger, a challenge that burns in your chest. Rock is a Lady's Modesty Episode 10 isn't just a story, it's a mirror to your own rebellion, a call to tear down the walls you've built to hide your truth. Like the fire that lit up Woodstock or the raw defiance of punk's first scream, this episode dares you to stand tall, to play your own song. Will you watch to see if Lil Issa and Otoha can shred the chains of expectation? Or will you let their music fade, like a dream you were too afraid to chase? Step onto their stage. Feel the weight of the guitar in your hands. Are you ready to scream your truth until the world listens? Steam rises from a thermal bath, curling like whispers of secrets you've kept even from yourself. The water's warmth beckons, a promise of solace, yet the air hums with an unspoken question. Who are you when the music stops? The title of episode 11 of Rock is A Lady's Modesty, a siren call that pulls you into a haze of nostalgia and yearning. Picture yourself sinking into an onsen, the heat melting your defenses, only to find your heart racing with questions you can't answer. Like the final strum of a Led Zeppelin ballad fading into silence, this episode wraps you in the bittersweet glow of a bygone era, where rock was rebellion and modesty a mask. Fans of thermal baths and the soulful pulse of music anime like Nana or K-On! Will feel the urge to dive in, to relive that raw, youthful defiance. Have you ever felt the ache of a moment you can't hold on to? Can you resist the call to step into this steamy, soul-bearing world and uncover what lies beneath the surface? Imagine stepping into the misty embrace of Yuzuriha Onsen, a sanctuary where the steam carries echoes of 1970s rock and the weight of unspoken dreams. Released on June 12, 2025, Episode 11 of Rock is A Lady's Modesty transports you to this retro haven, where the elegance of Ocean Girls Academy meets the gritty rebellion of a punk rock dive bar, like stepping into CBGB during its heyday. Lil Issa Suzunomiya, Akira Sekine, her voice a jagged blend of vulnerability and fire, is a rock goddess whose spiky blonde hair and leather jacket scream David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust, yet her trembling fingers on her guitar betray a heart still searching for its rhythm. Otoha Kurigane, Mayuri Shimabukuro, the drummer with a sneer as sharp as Patti Smith's poetry, pounds her kit like she's breaking free from a gilded cage, her elegance a facade that crumbles in the steam. Tamaki Shiraya, her soft features designed by Risa Mayadani with a delicate intensity, seeks her voice like a young Joni Mitchell crafting her first song, while Tina Isumi's nervous energy mirrors the quiet panic of standing on the edge of greatness. Their character designs, vivid, retro retro-inspired, yet achingly human, feel like vinyl records you want to spin forever. Each groove a story you can't touch but desperately want to know. Who do you see in their eyes when the steam clears? Have you ever stood in a place where your past and future collide, begging you to choose? This episode isn't just a dip in hot springs. It's a plunge into the soul's deepest waters. Lalisa's defiance, like Joan of Arc facing the pyre, battles her fear of losing herself to the expectations of her lineage, each strum of her guitar a question. Who am I if I don't play my truth? Otoha's sharp tongue hides a wound as raw as Kurt Cobain's journals, her need to be seen clashing with her fear of being known. Tamaki's quiet struggle to find her place in the band feels like every time you've stood in the shadow of someone brighter, while Tina's trembling resolve echoes the universal dread of fading into silence. The thermal bath, a place of cleansing, becomes a crucible for their identities, forcing them to confront the question, what does it mean to be free when the world demands your modesty? Like the Woodstock generation chasing freedom only to find new chains, this episode weaves their personal battles into a tapestry of rebellion and reflection. Have you ever faced a moment where your truth felt like a fire you couldn't contain? What would you give to let it burn, even if it consumes you? Bandai Namco Pictures crafts a visual love letter to the retro aesthetic, each frame a Polaroid snapshot of a 1970s rock dream. The onsen glows with soft, golden hues, like the warm flicker of a Fleetwood Mac vinyl spinning in candlelight, the steam curling in languid spirals that pull you into a dreamlike haze. The animation, blending 2D fluidity with subtle 3D flourishes, captures the band's performance with the raw energy of a Ramones gig, Lalisa's guitar solos animated with frenetic cuts that mirror a Scorsese montage. The camera lingers on Otoha's drumsticks, each strike a heartbeat, then pans to Tamaki's hesitant fingers, her uncertainty framed in soft focus like a Wes Anderson tableau. The contrast between the misty, serene baths and the electric chaos of their music feels like stepping from a quiet temple into a punk rock riot. Can you feel the steam on your skin, the pulse of the music in your bones? What would it be like to stand in that hazy light, your heart laid bare? The soundtrack is a time machine, pulling you into a world where rock was revolution. Bandmaid's echoes of rebellion surges like a Rolling Stones riff at Altamont, its raw guitar wails wrapping around you like the heat of the onsen itself. Little Glee Monster's ending theme, Mizu no Naka no Yume, flows like a Carole King ballad, its gentle piano notes lingering like ripples in the bathwater, stirring memories of dreams you've left behind. The sound design, water lapping against stone, the hiss of steam, the faint echo of a crowd's roar, feels like the hush before a Beatles concert, pulling you into the moment. Otoha's drums thunder like a storm, Lalisa's guitar cries like a wounded heart, and the silence between their notes is as heavy as the pause before a confession. What music plays in your soul when you strip away your masks? Can you hear the song that would carry you through the steam to your truth? Without unveiling the heart of the onsen's secrets, a moment arrives like a needle dropping on a vinyl record, sharp and transformative. The band faces not just their music but the raw, unfiltered truth of their bonds, a confrontation as electric as Freddie Mercury commanding Live Aid. Tamaki's quiet realization, a flicker of courage in the steam, hits like the moment in Almost Famous when Penny Lane whispers her truth, resonating with anyone who's ever found strength in vulnerability. The air grows thick, the water still, and a single choice shifts the current, leaving you aching for answers. What would you do when the heat strips away your defenses, demanding you face who you are? Can you bear the silence that follows your boldest note? As the steam fades and the music lingers, Rock is a Lady's Modesty Episode 11 leaves you standing in the afterglow of a retro rebellion, a world where the thermal baths and rock anthems of the past call you to confront your own truth. Like the vinyl crackle of a beloved record or the defiant spirit of Nana's punk heart, this episode is a love letter to fans of music, anime, and onsen serenity, a story that begs to be lived again and again. Will you watch to see if Lilisa, Otoha, Tamaki, and Tina can find harmony in their chaos? Or will you let their song fade, like a melody you were too afraid to sing? Step into the steam. Feel the rhythm of your own rebellion. Are you ready to discover who you are when the music stops? A vinyl record spins, its needle whispering secrets through the crackle of static, pulling you into a memory you swear you've lived. The steam of a thermal bath swirls around you, warm and heavy, like the embrace of a long-lost summer night when rock was your rebellion and the world felt infinite. Episode 12 of Rock is a Lady's Modesty, titled Echoes in the Steam, hums with the question that haunts every dreamer. What remains when the song ends? Imagine sinking into an onsen, the heat peeling away your masks, leaving only the raw pulse of your heart, like the final, aching chord of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. For fans of thermal baths and the soul-stirring melodies of music, anime like Nana or Carol and Tuesday, this episode is a siren's call. tale, a retro fever dream that begs you to dive in, to lose yourself in its misty depths and chase answers you can't yet grasp. Have you ever felt a moment so alive it hurts to let it go? Can you resist the pull of a story that feels like your own forgotten anthem? Step into the mist-shrouded Yuzuriha Onsen, where the air hums with the ghosts of 1970s rock and the weight of dreams too heavy to carry alone. Released on June 19, 2025, Episode 12 of Rock is a lady's modesty weaves a world where the elegance of Ocean Girls Academy collides with the raw, electric pulse of a velvet underground gig, a place where tradition and rebellion dance like lovers in a dive bar. Lil Issa Suzunomiya, Akira Sekine, her voice a jagged spark of defiance and longing, is a rock star in a kimono, her spiky blonde hair and torn fishnets evoking Debbie Harry's punk glamour, yet her eyes hold a fragility that makes you ache, like every time you've stood on the edge of your own truth. Otoha Kurigane, Mayuri Shimabukuro, the drummer whose elegance masks a storm, pounds her kit with the fury of Janis Joplin at Monterey, her sharp wit a shield for a heart that's terrified of breaking. Tamaki Shiraya, her delicate features drawn by Risa Mayadani with a poet's grace, searches for her sound like Bob Dylan penning his first protest song, while Tina Isami's nervous laughter hides a fear of fading, a shadow you've felt in moments of doubt. Their designs, retro, vibrant, yet achingly human, are like album covers you want to frame, each line a story you long to unravel. Can you see yourself in their trembling hands, their defiant stares? Have you ever stood in a place where your past whispers your future? This episode isn't just a finale, it's a reckoning, a mirror held to the soul's deepest scars. Lalisa's guitar wails like a battle cry, her rebellion against her family's expectations echoing Antigone's defiance, each note a question. What does it mean to be free when your heart is chained? Otoha's venom, sharp as a switchblade, isn't just anger, it's a plea to be remembered, like Kurt Cobain's raw scream in Nevermind, a sound that lingers in your bones. Tamaki's quiet struggle to claim her place feels like every time you've wondered if you're enough, while Tina's desperate courage mirrors the fear of being a footnote in someone else's story. The onsen, a place of cleansing, becomes a crucible where their identities are forged, forcing them to face the ultimate question. Can you love who you are when the world demands you be someone else? Like the Woodstock generation chasing freedom only to find themselves caged, these characters weave a symphony of sacrifice and self-discovery, each note a brushstroke in a masterpiece you can't touch but can't look away from. Have you ever felt a dream so vivid it felt like betrayal to wake? What would you sacrifice to sing your truth, even if the crowd stays silent? Bandai Namco Pictures paints a canvas that feels like a lost Polaroid from a 1970s rock festival, each frame dripping with retro soul. The onsen glows with golden, misty hues, like the soft light of a Fleetwood Mac vinyl spinning in a dimly lit room, the steam curling like cigarette smoke in a Scorsese close-up. The band's final performance, animated with 3D motion capture that pulses with bandmates' raw energy, moves like a Clash concert, Lalisa's guitar solos slashing through the air like lightning. The camera weaves between Otoha's frenetic drumbeats and Tamaki's hesitant fingers, each shot a love letter to the chaos and grace of youth, framed like a Wes Anderson film with punk rock heart. Quiet moments, steam rising, water rippling, feel like Monet's water lilies, serene yet alive with hidden currents, while the performance scenes explode in neon bursts, a visual rebellion against restraint. Can you feel the mist on your face, the stage shaking under your feet? What would it be like to stand in that light, your soul bared to the world? The soundtrack is a time machine, pulling you into a world where rock was a revolution and every note a defiance. Bandmate's final echo roars like a Rolling Stones anthem at Altamont, its guitar riffs slicing through the steam like a cry you've held back too long. Little Glee Monsters' closing theme, Kimi no Yuta, drifts like a Joni Mitchell ballad, its piano notes rippling through the onsen like tears in the water, stirring memories of dreams you've buried. The sound design, lapping water, the hiss of steam, the faint crackle of a vinyl record, feels like the hush before a Beatles crowd erupts, pulling you into the heart of the moment. Otoha's drums thunder like a storm, Lalisa's guitar wails like a wounded soul, and the silence between their notes is as heavy as a confession you're too scared to speak. What song plays in your heart when you face your deepest fears? Can you hear the melody that would carry you through the mist to your truth? Without spilling the onsen's secrets, a moment crashes down like a needle hitting the final groove of a record, sharp and unforgettable. The band faces not just their music but the fragile threads that bind them, a confrontation as raw as Freddie Mercury's voice soaring at Live Aid. Tina's quiet courage, a spark in the steam, hits like the moment in Almost Famous when Kate Hudson's Penny Lane bares her heart, resonating with anyone who's ever fought to be seen. The water stills, the air grows heavy, and a single choice, bold, heartbreaking, and human, shifts everything, leaving you breathless with questions. What would you do when the heat strips you bare, demanding you face your truth. Can you stand in the silence that follows your loudest cry? Remember those nights? When music was your rebellion, when every chord felt like a key to your soul. The steam of Yuzuriha Onsen carries that spirit, the raw, untamed heart of Nana and K-On, reborn for fans who crave the nostalgia of rock's golden age and the serenity of thermal baths. Rock is a Lady's Modesty episode 12 isn't just a story, it's a call to reclaim the fire you've buried, to stand in the mist and sing your truth, like the crackle of a beloved vinyl or the defiant pulse of punk's first scream. This episode begs you to watch, to relive, to feel. Will you follow Lil Issa, Otoha, Tamaki, and Tina as they chase their harmony in the chaos? Or will you let their song fade, like a dream you were too afraid to live? Step into the steam. Pick up your guitar. Are you ready to find the echo of your own rebellion?